In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question I get regularly about the takeaway movement. Is it the lead arm pushing? Is it the trail arm pulling? Make sure you stay tuned for the answer. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, is all about the takeaway movement. And it's a question I get a lot on social media and people getting in touch from some of my YouTube videos, and it's a great way to actually post some questions, videos you'd like to see. So make sure you do check out my social media channels. They're all coming along the bottom here, all the info you need. And of course you can put comments to these videos, and it's a great way to get in touch. So today's video is all about this takeaway movement. So we're talking about the first movement of the golf club away from the golf ball until around the first parallel position here. So for me, I've always focused on what the body's doing and forget the arm movement, but I've thought more and more about this, and I've had the question regularly, is it my lead arm pulling? Is it my trail arm pushing? I must have had this question 50 times, so it's well worth answering. And the more I felt it, for me, it's never been a problem. I've got lots of other issues in my golf swing, don't get me wrong, but my takeaway movement's normally been pretty good. So it's not been an area I've really focused on, but the more I've gone through drills and exercises with players, the more I believe it to be the lead side that is controlling this movement. So it's definitely the big muscles for me, but if we're focusing on one side in particular, it's the lead side moving away from the target. Now, we just don't want a lateral movement away from the target here. That would be a real turn off the golf ball, but my lead side is definitely turning away from the target and tilting. So my lead arm is staying very connected across my chest. My lead shoulder is moving down underneath my chin. And that means I make sure I turn, but on a tilted axis. I need to make sure I maintain my tilts. I do not simply want to push my lead side away from the target and stand bolt upright, gaining height. So for me, I don't want to see it as the trail side pulling, because if my trail arm was pulling the club away, we tend to see a separation of the elbow away from the body. We tend to see a lot of arm movement without any body movement, and then everything becomes very disconnected. So I'd much prefer it to be the lead side working in this takeaway movement, and the lead side therefore is pushing or turning away from the target on a tilted axis to get this lead shoulder moving downwards correctly underneath my shoulder, underneath my chin even. So as an exercise, and I'm just going to move a little bit actually, so I'm a little bit more down line from the camera. We won't worry about a T-peg just for the second. So if I set up to a golf ball more around here, what I'm going to do is set up, take my trail hand, that's my one that's furthest away from the target, off the golf club, let it hang naturally. And what I want to get the feeling of that I do with my lead arm here and lead hand is it's going to move away from the target, and it's just going to simply move underneath my trail arm. Now that gets me the feeling of controlling the movement with my lead side, because my trail side here is not active. And it gets me that feeling of my lead arm staying very connected across my chest in that first couple of feet of the golf swing. So trail arm to hang, lead arm to work underneath. I could then simply put my trail hand onto the golf club. And I really feel like I've activated my lead side here. I can definitely feel it up my lead side. I don't feel too much into my trail side at the minute. So it's very much a pushing movement with the lead side away from the target, but we do not simply want a movement that way. We've got to be able to, although we are pushing away from the target, we're turning away from the target, we're doing so on a tilted axis. So I'd get lots of people doing this drill. First movement, and then from there just continue that coil up with my lead side tilting, so my lead shoulder moving down underneath my chin. And that really gets me to that top of the backswing position I want to see. So let me move a little bit more down line again. Trail hand to hang off. Lead arm to work underneath my trail arm, really activating my lead side. And simply from there, I continue my lead side, turning away from the target on a tilt all the way to the top of the golf swing. So that really gives me that sensation of the takeaway being controlled by my lead side. But it's not just simply my arm. I'm really starting to activate my body. And coil is a good word for this. It is not a turn. It is not a pure tilt. We're turning on a tilted axis. So a coiling movement is a great feeling for you here. So let me go ahead. And I could simply just hit one doing that drill. So set up, take my trail hand and let it hang naturally. Lead arm works across my chest, so under my lead arm here. Put my trail hand back on the golf club and I can swing from there. So I'm just getting that feeling of continuing my turn or my coil away from the golf ball with my lead side. And I don't expect you to hit it a full pelt there, but good to put it into a golf swing movement, just doing a small one first before we put it into a longer movement. So let's really work on activating our lead side, getting that sensation that we are coiling up, very much controlling that first movement with our lead side. Now, I'm a big fan of doing a lot of drills with the club across your shoulders, getting that feeling of turning on that tilted axis. And I'll put a couple of links just up here to some videos I've filmed that are very much talking about this movement away from the golf ball and how our body is going to coil correctly in the backswing. That are well worth checking out if this is of interest to you and something you're struggling with. Let me go ahead and hit one here from a full swing. So all I'm going to do is rehearse that takeaway movement before I swing, and then go ahead and pull the trigger. And I think if you can rehearse that takeaway move pre-swing, it's really going to help you get the feeling of what your body's trying to achieve. If that video has helped, make sure you hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel to show your support for the TruGolf Academy. Never miss a video again. There's at least 2 videos a week, and hopefully they're going to help your game out in this 2020 season. Thank you.